What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I'm going to bring you a test hand combo video for the budget Lunalight profile I showed you all the other day. Now this is just going to be a basic introduction into what the deck wants to do. There are dedicated combos, and if I do see Gold Leo, I will try and play that combo out for you. But the idea is that I felt that this would be more beneficial with so many combo videos out there already, to show you how resilient the deck is, how many different types of interactions you can kind of play through. So we'll do one test down going first uninterrupted, and then we'll do a second test down going first with interactions and being as negative as we possibly can. And then we'll do a third test down going second, and it will just show you the power of Liger Dancer and everything else in between. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. With all of that out of the way, our first hand of 5 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we've got the Gold Leo combo, and considering this is the one that will go uninterrupted, I'll just start off with the Gold Leo combo. I think that's probably like the best way to do it. Obviously with the hand that we do have here, we've got more ways that we can kind of push through in certain scenarios. So starting off with Fractal, like of course we can discard the Fractal to then send a level 3 or lower, and you'll ideally be sending someone like your Silverhound, because then in doing so, if it's sent to the graveyard, you get to special on a Lunalight monster from the deck. So in that route, that'll be like one of the safest ways, because that saves your normal summon for any of these 3 cards here. And again, what you want to try and do is get access to Gold Leo and so on and so forth. But because I've seen the Gold Leo first, well, let's show you that combo straight away. So you're going to start off by normal summoning down the Gold Leo. On normal or special, you add a Lunalight monster from the deck to the hand, except itself, and then discard a card. So in a scenario like this, you can pretty much add whatever you want and discard whatever you want, but you ideally want to get access to the Silverhound, discard the Silverhound, and then Silverhound's effect would trigger, and it gives you a lot more to rotate and get what you need to. So in this scenario, let's just grab a Black Sheep. We'll discard the Silverhound. Like I said, if we didn't have the Silverhound, we would discard that as well. Then if a Lunalight monster is sent to your graveyard while this card is in the monster zone, even during damage step, target one of them, add it to the hand. Now we don't want to do that right now, we actually want to do that in a minute off of the back of the Lunalight Silverhound. So you trigger the Silverhound's effect. This will let you special summon a Lunalight monster directly from the deck. And then what you're going to do, except itself, you can't special summon while you have that monster on the field except Lunalight. So it's only while that monster is on the field, so once we get rid of it, you're absolutely fine, which is what we will end up doing very, very shortly. So we special summon out a Kaleido Chick. We then use Kaleido Chick's effect. Now, at this point, there's ways that you can early try and turbo into Liger Dancer by sending cards like your Leo Dancer now, but we want to be a lot more reserved with what we're trying to do. So you can send cards like your Black Sheep if you didn't already have it, but because I've already got it, I've got the ability to discard it and move on from there. And basically, you want to send anything that can now trigger off the Lunalight Gold Leo. So in this scenario, you would send Black Sheep, trigger off Gold Leo to add the Black Sheep to the hand, but because we've already done that, we can go one step ahead. So what we want to do, as long as the Lunalight is sent from the sent to the graveyard, you get to target one of them and add it to the hand. So pretty much any card we want direct access to from our deck, that's a Lunalight monster, we can do it. So we'll send the Tiger, we'll add the Tiger back to the hand. And we're pretty much on track with what we want to try and do here. So discard the Black Sheep. In doing so, you get to add a Lunalight monster from our grave to the hand, or add a Polymerization from the deck to the hand, which is exactly what we want to do. So just putting these back down as like blanks, because technically they will adapt to our infield, but or they would normally adapt to our infield, but for now we're just going to work with the blanks that we have. Activate Polymerization using Gold Leo and Kaleido Chick, because remember, while Kaleido Chick, that one was on the field, we were locked into Lunalights. So you get to go into your Perfume Dancer, and you get to trigger off a couple of effects here. So you get to trigger off effect number 1 off of the back of your Perfume Dancer, that if it's Fusion Summons, you get to add a Lunalight Perfume from the deck to the hand. You can then trigger off the Kaleido Chick, that if this card is sent to the graveyard as fusion material, well, technically by card effect, you target a Polymerization in the graveyard. So target the Poly, add it back to the hand. Perfume Dancer will then get us direct access to the Lunalight Perfume, which is technically an inbuilt Lunalight Monster Reborn, which is pretty amazing. So our graveyard's looking pretty good. We're going to loop off the Kaleido Chick now as well. Like, the idea is you want to get more and more into rotation for everything you need to as well. I think we pretty much triggered everything of Gold Leo, so we don't need to do anything like that. We can now scale the Tiger. Tiger's effect is just insane. The fact that it's not a hard once per turn is mental. So you target a Lunalight monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but it cannot attack and its effects are negated. Now this is the loophole. Kaleido Chick doesn't care if its effects are negated because it sends as cost. So even though you've brought it back with Lunalight Tiger, you can use Kaleido Chick's effect, send from the deck to the grave as cost, something like a Martin, and then its effects are negated. So it basically just doesn't clone the name of Yellow Martin, but you've still been able to do what you want to do, and that's send a card as cost. So Martin, again, is also an insanely good card as well, because if it's in the hand or grave, target a Lunalight card you control, accept itself, return it to the hand, and if you do, special on this card in defense vision. You do banish it when it leaves the field, but if it goes as overlay material, it doesn't go anywhere. So the best thing is, Yellow Martin can target the Tiger and return it back to the hand, which again is just crazy. Overlay both of these. You want to make sure you go into an XZs. So we go into Nyala, and the reason we go into Nyala is going to target one in the graveyard, so you can target the Black Sheep. It's pretty much done what it needs to do. Detach both materials as effect, which is quite important, because then it will trigger off the Martin's effect. So if this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you add a Lunalight spell or trap from the deck to the hand. So this is how you can get direct access to your Lunalight Masquerade. So you can kind of see how we've looped back a lot of resource here, which is really, really helpful. Now, just double checking everything else we have. Nyala is basically just going to be free link fodder from this point on, really. But the idea was that we've detached this effect, which is really important. So we've got Tiger again. We've also got Perfume again. Just want to make sure I do this the right way. I mean, I guess we just go scale the Tiger, Tiger effect, revive Kaleido Chick, Kaleido Chick's effect, sender's cost. Just trying to think what we want to send next, because basically you send quite a few times before you even send from the extra deck. Just got to make sure that we add back from the graveyard to the hand, so we've got to do that right as well. Just kind of want to get access to Wolf, so I've just got to, yeah, I think Wolf's the best one. So you send the Wolf, effects negated, resolves negated, which is absolutely fine. And then we've got Perfume Dancer's effect. So Perfume Dancer, target one other Lunalight you control, return it to the hand or extra deck, then special summon a Lunalight monster from the hand. Now, before we go too far into that one, you do want to set up a cross sheet first, but we still do have loads of other options. So we can activate the Masquerade. If it was activated this turn, you get to send the Lunalight monster from the deck to the grave, and then if you fusion summon a Lunalight monster, you get to add one polymerization from the grave or banishment back to the hand, then discard a card. If you fusion summon a Lunalight monster this turn, you can also banish monsters from the grave as well. So we're just going to send our Scarlet Tiger. So where Scarlet Tiger comes into play. Because then Scarlet Tiger's effect is if this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you special on any Lunalight monster from your extra deck or graveyard except a level 5. So we can bring back the Martin. And remember, it didn't get banished previously because it was used as overlay material, which is exactly what we're going to want to do here again. So you're going to overlay both of those. Go into a Tiger King. You can use Tiger King's effect here. Let me just double check this. Yeah, I don't even need to, don't know why I'm using, don't detach the effect, you just use this on summon effect to grab your hold of Tenki. There we go. And then we activate Tenki, utilising Tenki's effect. The card you want to get is your last Lunalight monster that you haven't really utilised yet, and that's your Emerald Bird. And then it's all about utilising link materials, so we link these all together, put those both together. Go into cross sheet. Make sure that cross sheet points to the Perfume Dancer. It's going to be very, very important shortly. So your Emerald board is if this card is normal or special, you send a Lunalight card from your hand to the graveyard, and if you do, draw one card. Now there are ways we're going to be able to recycle some resources because your Perfume Dancer is target one other Lunalight card you control. So it doesn't have to be a monster, which is really good. Return it to the hand or extra deck, and then special on a Lunalight monster from the hand. So we're going to want to return the Tiger, and again, this is how we get to utilize Tiger. Again, pretty mad. And then we're going to special summon down the Emerald Bird. You make sure you special summon it to a zone that cross sheet points to, because then you'll be able to trigger the cross sheet effect. So you can go Chain Link 1 cross sheet, you can go Chain Link 2 Emerald Bird. Now, technically, there is a reason to put Lunalight Tiger into the graveyard. I honestly don't think we need to right now, looking at everything we've got. But in theory, you could do. Now remember, we have resolved the Masquerade, so we can also use our graveyard. We kind of want to get Wolf back from the graveyard to the hand as well. The idea is that cross sheet will revive. Now, the one you want to revive, of course, will be your Kaleido Chick, because the Kaleido Chick wants to send from the extra deck to the graveyard now. That's really what you're trying to do. So I'm just going to leave it there like that. I don't think I need to draw. I don't think there is any reason to draw at all. So we'll use Kaleido Chick's effect. This will then send Leo Dancer from the extra deck, which now means that this is Leo Dancer, which is what you need to make Liger Dancer, which is really quite important as well. Now, one way to fuse is using polymerization, which allows you to use your graveyard. The other option is that you can utilize your utilize the wolf. We just need to get the wolf from the graveyard back to the hand. So absolutely fine there. Tiger still has a revive. Perfume still has a revive. We're still in a very, very good position. So now what we can do here is you can use either Tiger or you can use Perfume. Doesn't make that big of a difference. But the idea is you want to revive a Lunalight monster. And ideally you want to utilize Black Sheep, because if it's integrated material for a fusion summon, you get to add to your hand a face-up Lunalight Pendulum monster from your extra deck or a Lunalight monster from the graveyard, except itself. So that's how we're going to get the wolf back. So we bring this back. We now activate polymerization. Remember that this is currently treated as the Leo Dancer. So you get to fuse all 4 of these. So Emerald Bird, Black Sheep, Kaleido Chick, which is treated as Leo Dancer, and Perfume Dancer, to get you into your first Lunalight Liger Dancer. Now we're going to be able to trigger off a chain of events. So with the Emerald Bird, if this card is if this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, target one of your level 4 or lower Lunalight monsters that is banished or in the graveyard except itself, and special summon it in defense but negate its effects. So you can go for Kaleido Chick again if you want to, but it won't manipulate the level because remember its effects are negated. You can pretty much bring back anything you want, so we'll just go for the Kaleido Chick here. So that's your Emerald Bird. You then also want to trigger off your Black Sheep. Your Black Sheep will then get you access to add back the wolf. So you've got both of these now, and you're going to put those both here. You can still use the Tiger. Like, Tiger's still there as just another alternative option. I could make another rank 4 if I really, really wanted to, because you'd go Tiger Revive. You can make something like a Dagares, or you can make a Gallant Granite just to search out Nibiru. So you've got these 2 options here if you wanted to. I suppose with this I might as well. So go Tiger, Tiger's effect Revive, bring back the Emerald Bird, overlay, put both of those into, let's go for a guarantee. So we'll go into Gallant Granite, we'll detach material, we'll use Gallant Granite's effect to add Nibiru. There we go. If you want to draw into some of your side pieces, you can go into Dagares, doesn't make much of a difference. Now, we can scale up the wolf. Just going to move these out of the way. So we're going to scale up the wolf, and then we'll be able to use wolf scale effect. So you can't pension summon except Lunalights, which is fine. It can't be negated. Once per turn, you get to fusion summon a Lunalight fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing materials from the field or graveyard. So we're going to get rid of one. One of them has to be Leo Dancer. Make sure you leave a fusion in the graveyard. We might as well get rid of these 2. Make sure you also leave your Silver Hound. I suppose you could also link these off into SP Little Knight. But the idea is you're going to use 4 here. Gets you your second Liger Dancer. And then just to kind of clear these off, link these 2 off. And there's your SP Little Knight. Now the thing with SP Little Knight, and this is something you need to know if you are playing this going second, is that if I summon SP Little Knight and I use this effect to banish one of my opponent's cards, it doesn't affect the Liger Dancers. Liger Dancers can still attack directly, because SP Little Knight means that my monsters can't attack directly. But considering that Liger Dancer is unaffected by everything apart from Lunalight monsters, they can still attack directly. It's not like it affects the player, which would mean I couldn't attack, because it specifically affects my monsters, and these monsters are unaffected, they can still attack. So that's pretty much it from like one card. We've ended up with an SP Little Knight, 2 Liger Dancers, we've got a Nibiru guaranteed in the hand, and we still have 4 more cards. We've got the Black Sheep as well for a follow-up of the next turn if we need it to. Was the Black Sheep supposed to be in my hand? No, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be in the graveyard, right? Because I'm pretty sure I used it as fusion material. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be in the graveyard. So either way, if it's not, great, I've got a Black Sheep, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be there. Anyway, the idea is that I've still got Lunalight Wolf and I've got Tiger, so that my next turn I can bring back Chick. Chick can then send whatever it needs to. I can form a fusion summon and build on from there. But I would need to get hit with Lava Golem to be massively detrimented. They would hit both of these, and then I've still got on the Nibiru to fall back on, plus the 3 unknowns, and then I'd still have an SP Little Knight. So it still puts him in a bit of an awkward position, but if my opponent has got into a Lava Golem, then so be it. So that's it for the first kind of test hand. As you can see, the deck can be very, very... I'm trying to think of the right word. Very resilient. like, getting rid of Kaleido Chick is probably one of the biggest issues for, like, if you can get rid of Kaleido Chick, that will cause them a lot of issues. Yeah, so let's see what we're going to be able to do going second. Now, again, the ideal goal is still the same thing, but your SP Little Knight becomes a little bit more aggressive. Your Liger Dancers definitely become more aggressive. And if you are facing this deck, you're going to do everything in your power to stop a second Liger Dancer, or even the first Liger Dancer hitting the field. Because once that hits, it can get very, very tricky. So, shuffling up and cutting up. We will go second, starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, the Fu is pretty big, depending on what type of deck you're facing, because that could very, very, very easily mitigate how good their field is. So maybe on the Fua, let's say that they're 1 interaction less. So let's say they were going to start with, they end with 3, they end with 2, and then we get 1 draw off of the back of it. And then Fua into, there we go, that'll do, fine. And then we'll double Fua them. Do we get the +1? Let's say a Fua plus is 1, right? Actually, no, we won't. We'll just draw for turn. We'll make Fua as ineffective as possible, okay? Right, so we've actually got a very, very decent hand in this one because we can start off straight away by Fractal, right? Now, in my opinion, sending this card from the hand to the field to then send a level 3 or lower Beast, Beast Warrior, Wing Beast from the deck to the grave is going to be quite important. So you're either going to stop the Fractal or you let them send the Silver Hound. The only reason I'd let them send the Silver Hound is so that they activate the effect. And I go, cool, interact, that could then be like an Ash, could be anything. So the only benefit I've given them is the fact that my opponent's given me is the fact that I've got a Lunalight in the graveyard. So that's definitely going to take up 1 interaction. There's no doubt about that in my opinion. We've now got Foolish Burial Goods, so we'll activate the Foolish Burial Goods. This one's pretty good because this will let us send the track. You can send Perfume if you want the ad. I like to send Serenade Dance. So during your main phase, banish this card from the grave, send 1 card from the hand to the grave, and if we do, special summon a Lunalight monster from our deck. So again, that's going to get us access to Gold Leo, which is really important. Special this card from the hand, then if you activate the effect during the turn your opponent activates a card or effect, you get to add Poly from the deck or grave to the hand. So, I mean, the Scarlet Tiger will get us another search, which is really kind of cool. But what we're trying to do here is just maintain our normal summon. Lunalight Fusion summon a Lunalight Fusion monster from my extra deck using monster from my hand or field as material. If your opponent controls a monster but special from the extra deck, you can also use 1 Lunalight monster from the deck or extra deck. So, Lunalight Fusion is going to be pretty good right now. I would personally stop the Masquerade. So I want to make sure, if I'm the Lunalight player, I want to protect my Masquerade where at all possible. So let's go... I could technically use Serenade Dance here, discarding the Scarlet Tiger. So banish card from the grave, send 1 card from the hand of the grave, and if you do special... So again, it's as effect. So if this card is disintegrated by card effect, special summon a Lunalight monster from the face or extra deck or graveyard. I mean... There's not really anything in the graveyard there that I want to, so it would get me Gold Leo. Gold Leo could trigger an effect. I don't know if it's worth it. Maybe I'll hold that. Maybe just hold that and go normal summon Kaleido Chick. Now I feel that if my opponent has an interaction that either banishes this, returns this, or gets rid of it in one way or another, they will do. So I suppose the last interaction gets rid of the Kaleido Chick. Let's go with worst possible outcome. The Kaleido Chick returns to the hand. I've used my normal summon, it's returned to the hand. Banish isn't that bad, but it can be kind of annoying. So let's go with Serenade Dance. Serenade Dance will then let us discard... I'm going to discard... I mean, if I'm free of interactions, if I don't think my opponent's got any interactions, I'd actually go Masquerade here. So I'd go Masquerade, effect to send Lunalight from deck to grave. Let's send... What is worth sending? Probably the Martin, because at least the Martin, worst case scenario, returns the Masquerade. Not that I want to, but again, it kind of puts a bit of a threat against my opponent. Then what we can do here is we can go Serenade Dance, banish this, discard the Scarlet Tiger, effect to Serenade Dance resolves, get us access to Gold Leo, and then we can go Chain Link 1 Gold Leo, Chain Link 2 Scarlet Tiger. This will then let us special summon out the Martin. Gold Leo's effect to add and then discard. So let's add Tiger, discard the Kaleido Chick. Just remember the wording on Gold Leo. Centigrade, Wise Cards in the end, etc. And target one of them. So I have to then add back the Kaleido Chick, which is kind of something I don't want to do. So I suppose we don't add Tiger. We get Tiger another way. We add Black Sheep. Discard. Yeah, discard Kaleido, add Kaleido. Doesn't make any difference. Use Black Sheep's effect. Discard, grab the poly. There we go. So we're currently locked into, actually we're not locked into anything. So we've got the poly. I could banish from my graveyard if I want to. I don't want to just yet. The Lunalight Fusion can still be quite useful for me. So I'm debating if I use the Lunalight Fusion. So let's use the Lunalight Fusion here. Trying to save the poly. So use the Chick in the hand. Use one Leo Dancer in the extra deck, because then at least it's in the graveyard, to get me into the Perfume Dancer. And then worst case scenario, if my opponent does interact with me at any point, because I've got Masquerade ready to go, I can actually banish the Liger Dancer. So gets me into Perfume. Perfume, if it's Fusion Summoned, you get to add the Perfume. Again, let's say my opponent's got one more interaction, right? Let's say they interact with the Perfume Dancer and completely shut that off. Where do you then go? Well, overlay both of these. Again, let's go Nyala. Nyala's effect, detaching and replacing. Doesn't matter what you put as its material. The idea is we've triggered Martin. Add Lunalight spell or trap from deck to hand. We've already got Masquerade, so let's go for Perfume. So we've got two ways to get to Perfume here. Then, just double check what we've got. So we've still got Martin's effect. I've not got a Perfume in the graveyard, so let's activate Perfume, target Lunalight in our grave and special summon it. So I guess we go with Chick. Chick's effect to send. Is there anything that we want sent to the graveyard? I suppose Wolf is like the ideal one. Send the Wolf. I don't think it's worth, I can make a link to Perfumer, target Lunalight we control, return it to the hand or extra deck, special on the Lunalight monster from the hand. I need to get the add back first. I've got Martin that can return one, which gives me the rank 4. It's not what I need just yet. I mean, very simply, I can just go poly. Add one poly from the grave or banishment to the hand. I probably could have done that the other way around, then use Masquerade to add the poly back. Anyway, if we fusion summon a Lunalight monster, we can also banish monsters from our graveyard. So let's go rid of Leo. Let's get rid of Scarlet. Let's get rid of Gold Leo. Tell you what, we're going to need to link these two off as well. So they'll go there first. So we would have done the link first into Cross Sheep. Link those off. And then create your poly. And then do these. Or maybe it needs to be something different to Black Sheep. Maybe. Either way, it's just to get access to your Liger Dancer, because now we've got access to Liger Dancer, you can trigger off the Cross Sheep's effect. Cross Sheep's effect brings back... I'm trying to think what the benefit is of Chick actually right now. Go Chick. I already used everything I need with Masquerade. So, Chick's effect to send. What is worthwhile sending? I don't think there is anything worthwhile sending. Send another Leo Dancer. I mean, we're pretty much in a fairly decent position here anyway, but Martin, return Masquerade to the hand, so I've got that as discard fodder. Overlay both of these. Go into Tiger King. Tiger King gets us Tenki. Activate the Tenki, level 4 lower beast, which will be Tiger. These two together go into SP. SP's effect will banish, but remember this can still attack directly, which is kind of all you need anyway. Tiger. What do we want to bring back? Actually, I don't think Tiger does anything here for us. Trying to think if there's a better way to add. You'd add the Emerald Bird, but then Perfume Dancer. Perfume Dancer returns the Tiger, doesn't it, really? But then we need that monster in the hand. We wouldn't have the Tiger. Ugh, just a lot of everything. So one Lunalight card you control, return it to the hand or extra deck, then special one Lunalight monster from the hand. Banish this card from the graveyard. This turn all monsters your opponent controls lose attack equal to defense. Trying to think if there's anything worthwhile here. Because Tiger can bring back Chick, but then Chick just goes, okay, cool, Chick effects, send. But without the ability of getting into a fuse. And because it sends as cost, not as effect, you can't trigger off your Lunalight monster effects. I might have misstepped somewhere. Because you'd return the Tiger. Return to the hand or extra deck. You can. Maybe I don't need to activate the Tiger. Like to do anything with it. But I still need to get... I mean, it would all come down to a draw play, really. Either I've missed a route to a fusion play, or just by taking in those lines of interaction. Actually, I forgot. I've got Perfume, don't I? So Perfume, banish, discard, add a Lunalight monster from the deck to the hand. Oh, get Wolf, right? Banish. Oh, I sent Wolf. That was stupid. Discard, get Emerald Bird. Don't really want the draw, though. I just need another way to fuse, which I don't think I have. So I think that might be the misstep. It's just not having another way to fuse. There's definitely where the Wolf comes into play. Yeah, because then Tiger could revive, but without being able to send as effect, there's a lot of stuff I can't trigger. So I think just trying to taking it back, I definitely shouldn't have sent Wolf in this scenario. Because then if I didn't send Wolf, let's say I sent something else, I would be able to add the Wolf. And then Tiger, I could then use Perfume to return this, don't need to special summon, activate the Tiger. Tiger would then revive whatever level 4 I want. Yeah, and then it really wouldn't matter much. I suppose like the best thing I can do is go Tornado Dragon's effect, destroy a card. Then you go Wolf and then use Wolf's effect, just banishing one. And I suppose you just clear out your graveyard, you don't really care. 2, 3, 4. I mean, I could even use the Perfume Dance because like the field just keep the Hound in there. No, it doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. Just banish the 4. Get into the second Liger Dancer. One of the Liger Dancer's effect destroys everything. Send a Lunalight monster from my extra deck to grade, destroy your opponent's special summon monsters. So we've got like a couple more that we can send. So let's send those 2. Well, we only need to really send 1. Can make a second attack during each battle phase. Like if my opponent's got no special monsters, I've banished a card with SP. It's like attack, and then attack, because obviously these can attack directly. And that's pretty much it. And then even if you can't get a second Liger Dancer, all you need to do is do a bit of damage between these 3. And then this attacks directly at 76, which is pretty, 70. Well, it wouldn't get the buff off of this. These would get this would get a buff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I kind of went a little bit wrong there by sending the Wolf with hindsight. But I suppose that's the difference. Like when you know exactly what interactions are coming your way, or like more common interactions, how you'd want to build it on from there. But the deck is crazy good. That's basically what it is. You just need to learn it inside and out, which I clearly haven't done just yet. But as a basic introduction to the deck, you're kind of seeing how, again, I've played this like once or twice prior. I used to play it before the new support, before it became just like Liger Dancer Turbo. Not that there's anything wrong with Liger Dancer Turbo, but the idea is that, you know, the deck just has its win con. It gets to Liger Dancer and it is just incredibly powerful. The new card is fine. I think 1 is more than enough, just because you see it so early, and you can see it when you want it, and you can send it when you want it, and everything else in between. So, I think it's crazy good. I really do like what it can do. I like that it's a nice introduction deck as well, and I feel that if you were to, I feel you would have probably one of the best deck reprints ever in Yu-Gi-Oh! if you combine this with the Mitsu and Sky Strikers. Like, I think you could arguably have 3 world competing decks there. I honestly do, and that's it. It takes me back a little bit to Pokemon, and I don't know if they still do them, but Pokemon used to do whatever deck won worlds, they would reprint it, but it would be reprinted in a way that it wasn't designed for everyday dueling. Like, it basically said this deck could not be used on an official duel, but the idea was you had a full reprint of the world's deck that you could use and test and learn with, which I thought was really kind of cool. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope it's giving you a bit of an idea into the deck. I know I'm not perfect with the deck yet. I'm still learning it and trying to get the inside and outs myself. But it kind of shows you how easy it is to pick up. And then to take yourself to the next level, you need to learn all of those intricate little details and changes and bits and bobs. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe. And of course, happy dueling.